Welcome back to MonsterTamer, our 2D Pokemon-like RPG created with Phaser 3. In our last video, we reviewed our new feature we'll be implementing, NPC Battles. If you haven't seen the previous episode, you can find the link in the description. As always, you can grab the project source code up to this point, along with the completed code for this video, from the links in the description. I'll also include any assets you'll need to follow along, so let's get started. With our new assets in place, we can now start working on building out our feature. To allow our player to battle our NPCs, we're going to start off by having our player talk to one of our NPCs, and if it's an NPC we can battle, this will then transition to our battle scene. When this happens, we're going to pass some additional data to our battle scene, so we'll know it's a trainer battle versus an encounter with a wild monster. So when we started expanding our main area, we added in some placeholder NPCs that will allow our player to battle. For these NPCs, currently all we're doing is when our player interacts with them, we show a dialogue message that says, "Hey, let's battle." And in order to differentiate these NPCs from our other NPCs, we'll need to add a new interaction type to our NPC's JSON file. So currently our NPC JSON file, we have various events that our NPCs can do, and our main one is message, and this just means that our NPC can talk to our player. But we support other types, like having our NPCs heal our player. And in order to allow our NPCs to battle our player, we're going to add a new type called Battle. And for this new event type, we're going to need to know things like which monsters that player is going to use in their battle, what message we want to show to the player if that trainer loses, which asset key we want to show during our battle, and the name of our trainer. Besides our new event type, we're going to add a new feature flag, which will allow us to conditionally trigger various events based on if this trainer has previously been defeated. To start making these changes, let's go into our NPC's JSON file. Let's go to our NPC object for NPC4. So when our player first interacts with our NPC, we'll start off by showing our message, "Hey, let's battle." After we show this message, we'll want to have our new event type. For our event type, we're going to call this Battle. On our data, we won't pass in our messages. Instead, we'll pass in a property called Monsters. And now this will be an array of monster IDs that we'll need to look up from our monsters.json file. For the time being, I'm going to add a new ID of 6. Next, we'll want to specify our asset key we want to show during our battle scene, and then our trainer name. We'll have asset key. For this, we'll want to match our asset that we previously loaded. So if we go into our asset keys, we'll want this to match here. So this will be our trainer, a youth girl. Now for our trainer name, we're just going to call our trainer junior trainer. And now our name, this is what we'll show in our battle scene when our NPC first appears. Finally, we'll add in one more property. We're going to call this trainer lost messages. And this will be an array of messages. And let's put in "you defeated me." So when our player battles one of our NPCs, if that NPC loses, this will be the message that we'll show during our battle scene before our scene ends. So now that we have our new event type, let's update our type definition file. So we'll go into our type definition. So let's go to our NPC event type, and currently we already have a type for battle, but now we need to add in our object definition for that event type. So let's come down to our NpcEventHeal object. Let's copy that. We're going to paste it. For our new type, we'll call this NpcEventBattle. Now for our type, this will be battle. And now we'll have requires. Oh, let's get rid of our duplicate requires, and then we'll have our data object. Real quick before we define our data object, let's remove our duplicate requires. Now for our data object, we just need to add in our new properties that we defined. So I'm going to copy these here. We'll paste them. So our first property will have monsters. Then we'll have our asset key. We'll have our trainer name. And we'll have one more property. And this will be our trainer lost messages. Now for our type, our monsters is going to be a number array. Our asset key will be our string. Our trainer name will be a string. And our lost messages will be a string array. So in our type definition for NPC event, we'll want to add in our battle event. So we'll do NpcEventBattle. And now if we save, we'll need to update our world scene to handle this new event type. So if we come down to our handle NPC interaction method, in our switch statement, we'll want to add in a new case for our battle. So let's do case. We'll do our NPC event type. And now we want to do battle. And now for the time being, we're going to put we're processing our NPC event. So let's copy this. We'll paste it. We're going to do a console log. And we'll do our event to handle. And then we'll do false for processing our NPC event. And then let's call our handle NPC interaction. Finally, we'll add in our break statement. Let's go ahead and save. So now if we want to test our changes, let's jump over to our preload scene. Instead of going to our title scene, let's go into our world scene. And now in our world scene, let's disable our wild monster encounters. So if we go into our handle player movement and encounter zone logic, we'll just set our wild monster encounter flag and we'll hardcode it to be false. So now in our game, we'll just want to navigate to our fourth NPC. And now when we talk to our NPC, we should see our message that says, hey, let's battle. And then in our developer console, we should see our new battle event being logged. And then after we log our battle event, because we have no other events defined in our events array, that ends our interaction with our NPC. So now in our world scene, when we're processing our battle event type, the first thing we'll do is we'll need to take our ID of our monsters here and use this to look up our monsters from our JSON file. Once we grab those objects, we can then pass those to our battle scene to make up the team that will have to battle for this NPC. So instead of ending our NPC event and calling handle NPC interaction, we'll want to start our battle scene with those monsters. So now to get our monsters we need to pass to our battle scene, let's make a new variable. We're going to do const, we'll do NPC monsters. We're going to set this equal to our event to handle. We want our data property, and now we want to grab our monsters array. Now this array, this is just an array of IDs, so we're going to call our map method on our array. And now for each of our monster IDs in this array, we'll want to look up that monster from our data utils. So we'll want to return that object. So we'll do our data utils. We're going to do getMonsterById, and then we'll pass in this phaser scene, and then our monster ID from our array that we're processing. So what we'll do is we'll do a console log, we'll do our NPC monsters, we'll save. Now when we talk to our NPC, we should have an array with one element that's undefined. Now the reason our element's undefined is currently our monster ID that we're processing from our JSON file is set to 6. So if we open up our monsters JSON file, right now we only have 5 monsters in our array. So now we need to define our monster that'll be in our NPC's party. So for that, let's copy one of our monster objects. We're going to paste it. Let's give our monster an ID of 6. So now for our NPC's monster, let's do ignovolt. So I'm going to copy our stats from our monster here. I'm going to paste that in. One thing to note is our ID. This is our unique ID for this object in our array. Our monster ID, this is our unique identifier for this type of monster. So all of our ignovolt monsters should have the same ID, but when we have different stats and levels, our objects in here, this ID here should be unique. So now for our monster, instead of having our monster be at level 5, we're going to have our NPC's monster be a little bit lower, so we should be able to defeat them. So let's update our starting HP to be 15. Our max HP will be 15. We'll keep our same attack ID. But now for our base attack, because we're a lower level, let's do 3. Our current attack will be 3. Our current level, let's do 3. Now for our EXP, we'll set it to 40. And our current XP, we'll do 27. Now if we save, let's try talking to our NPC. And we'll see we still have an issue with our array where our element's undefined. So if we jump into our data utils, let's go to our getMonsterById method. Currently, we're using our monster ID property instead of our ID property. So what's happening is when we go through our array of objects here, we're using this property here instead of our ID. Right now our logic's working because our ID and our monster ID are the same for each of our monsters. And so to fix this bug, we'll want to change this to use our ID property. And so let's update our second argument. We're going to call this ID. And now we'll want to do where our monster ID is equal to our ID. And because our ID is going to be a number, we'll want to convert this to a string. So we'll call toString, and we'll pass in 10 for our radix. Now we'll go ahead and save. So now back in our scene, if we talk to our NPC, our array should have one object, and this should be our ignovolt monster. And so just to make sure our logic works with 2 monsters, let's come back to our monsters JSON. Let's copy our last object. We'll do one more monster. Let's update this to be 7. Now for this monster, let's do Carnodusk. I'm going to copy our names here. Go ahead and paste them. For our monster ID, this will be 2. We'll keep the same HP. Now for our monster attacks, we'll do 1. Now for our experience, let's do 41, and we'll do 27 for our current experience. So now if we come to our NPC's JSON file, let's update our array to have 6 and 7. Now if we save, when we talk to our NPC, and now in our array of monsters, we should now have 2 elements. One will be our Carnodusk, and the other will be our ignovolt. Now that we have our team of monsters, we would want to pass these to our battle scene. But before we start adding in all that logic, there's a few things we'll want to wrap up in our world scene. So currently when our player talks to our NPC, we constantly show our message, hey let's battle, and then we would trigger a battle scene. We'll want to add in logic to keep track when we defeat our NPC, and once our NPC is defeated, we'd want to show a different message and not start our NPC battle. So to add in that logic, we'll need to add some enhancements to our data manager. Primarily, we'll need to keep track of our NPC IDs that we've already defeated, and then we'll need to add a new feature flag to our game to show we only want to handle this event when that flag is set. So for those changes, let's start with our feature flag. So when we talk to our NPC, we only want to process our first event here if we've not defeated this trainer before. So for our event type, we're going to call this trainer not defeated. And so if we've not defeated this trainer before, we'll say, hey, let's battle, and then we'll go to our next event and we'll start our battle. If we've already defeated our NPC, we'll have a different flag. And for this flag, we're going to call this trainer defeated. And so for our message, we can have a different message. We'll just say, that was a great battle. So now we'll want to add this new flag to our type definition file. Let's go to our game flag event type. Let's copy our type and our enum. We'll paste those in. So now for our variable name, we're going to call this battle flag. For our type, we'll call it battle flag. And now for our two flags, we'll want to copy these from our JSON file. So let's do trainer not defeated, and then we'll do trainer defeated. Now that we defined our new flags, let's jump over to our data manager. So in our data manager, we'll want to add a property to keep track of our defeated NPCs. So at the bottom of our initial state object, we'll add in that new property. So we're going to do defeated NPCs, and this will be an array of our NPC IDs. Let's add that to our type definition. So I'm going to copy our viewed events here, paste it. We'll call this defeated NPCs. Now this will be a string array. We'll add that to our data manager store keys. So we'll do defeated NPCs. And now we'll just need to update our class to add in that new property. So let's come down to our start new game method. Let's do our existing data. We'll do defeated NPCs will be equal to, we'll do a copy of our initial state, our NPCs. Next, we'll come down to our update data manager. Let's copy our last line, we'll paste it. Now for our defeated NPCs, instead of storing these as an array inside our data manager, we're going to store these as a set. By using a set, we can easily look up an ID for an NPC to see if it's included in that set. So for our value here, we'll want to do a new set, and we'll want to do our data, our defeated NPCs, and if that value is not set, we'll fall back to an empty array. So now we'll come down to our data manager data to our global state object. For our defeated NPCs, because we're storing these as a set, we'll need to convert that to an array. So we'll do an array from, and now we want to do this, our store. We'll do get, our data manager store keys, our defeated NPCs, and if that property is not found, we'll default to a new set. Now that we have our new property, we're going to add a few utility methods to our class, one that'll allow us to get our defeated NPCs, and another that'll allow us to add an NPC ID to our set. So if we come down below our remove flag method, for our first method, we'll do add defeated NPC. For this method, we'll need the NPC ID we need to add. And now we'll want to get a reference to our set and our data manager, so we'll do const, we'll do defeated NPCs, be equal to our store, we'll do get, our data manager store keys, and we want our defeated NPCs. Now we can do our defeated NPCs, we'll call the add method, and we'll add in that ID. Oh, and this should be add with 2 Ds. And now for our next method, we'll do get defeated NPCs. And for this method, we're just going to return a reference to our set. So we're going to copy this line of code here, and then we'll do a return our set from our data manager. Now that we have a way to keep track of our defeated NPCs, we need to update our world scene. So when we're processing our events and we do our check for our feature flags, we'll want to check to see if our flag for the event we're processing is set to trainer defeated or trainer not defeated. If our flag is equal to either of those, then we'll want to grab our defeated NPCs, and if that set has that NPC's ID, then we'll know if we need to process that event. So in our world scene, when we do our event to handle and we loop through our requires property and we call every, inside here's where we'll add that at check. So now when we're processing our flag, first we'll want to check our flag name. So if our flag is equal to our battle flag, first we'll do our trainer defeated. So if our flag is set to trainer defeated, then we only want to process this event if our data manager shows we've defeated this NPC before. So inside here, we'll want to return our data manager. We're going to use our get defeated NPCs method we just added. This method will return our new set, which has all of the IDs of our NPCs we've defeated. And so if that set has the ID of the NPC we're interacting with, then we want to process that event. If our set does not have that ID, then we don't want to process that event, since we've not defeated that NPC before. So now we'll want to do the inverse of this for our trainers not defeated. So let's copy this, we'll paste it. So now for our flag, if our trainer is not defeated, then we want to return the opposite of this. If our set does not have that ID, then we'll process that event. So now if we save and come back to our game, if we try talking to our NPC, our logic should work just like it did before, so we should show our message of, hey, let's battle, and now we should see our console log statement that has our 2 monsters for our NPC. And now if we talk to our NPC a second time, that flow should repeat. So now if we want to test the other part of our flow, we'll want to add that NPC's ID to our data manager. So we come down to our code where we're processing our event. So after we log out our monsters, let's call our data manager. We're going to do add defeated NPC. And now we want to do the ID of the NPC our player's interacting with. So now if we save, now when we talk to our NPC, we'll see our first message. Then we'll see our log messages tied to our battle event. And then we see our third message right away. Because we're just testing our flow and we're adding that NPC's ID right away while we're processing our second event, that causes our third message to pop up. Once we fully implement our feature, this wouldn't actually show to our player. Instead, we would trigger our battle scene, and then in our battle scene, once we defeat the NPC, that's where we'll set our data manager. What that'll end up doing is once our player comes back to our world scene, and now when we talk to our NPC a second time, we'll see that other message. But for the time being, this works and allows us to test our flow. Alright, that's going to wrap up this episode of MonsterTamer. In our next video, we'll start working on updating our battle scene to support battling our NPC. You can find the completed source code for this video in the description below, along with the links to the full series if you need to catch up. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up. It really helps others find the series. And if you've been enjoying these phaser tutorials and want to support the channel, I've set up a Ko-fi page. Even a one-time coffee helps me keep making more content like this, and the link's down in the description. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll know as soon as the next episode is out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.